Alrighty, so I'm going to try and do this in one take for the first try. Alrighty, so it's just going to be a replay analysis of. This is a gold 4 game. My friend in it. So we'll start off. First things first, positioning. This is going to be annoying, but alright. So first of all, this is wrong. We've got our supports on this side and our ADCs on this side. This is a big no-no. What we want to be doing is our ADCs want to be sitting in the caster creeps, preferably to the left side, and we want to have our supports in the bush. That way, if you're like, for example, Thresh here, you can get a hook from the bush, or if you're Soraka, you can hide in the bush and not take poke. It's not that big of a deal, I suppose, since you're both doing it and you're just reflecting each other. But if you were to switch this around, and you, for example, followed the actual thing, so you had your AD here on the left side of the caster creeps, and your Soraka sitting in the bush, your Soraka could punish the ADC with poke every single time she came up to CS, while Thresh is sitting here trying to get a hook into the ADC that has, 3 melees and then 3 casters in front of it, which is never going to happen. The only way he's ever going to get a hook is if he pushes through, breaks through the support, and then goes in for the flay hook, or hook flay, whatever. So that's the only way he's really ever going to do anything, is if he switches back down to down the bottom. So if you're sitting like this, you don't have the advantage of the creep wave. You can't punish them for not following it. So, that's a big problem. Alright. And there we go. Straight away we see what happens when we're not positioning correctly. We eat a hook to the face, and are we gonna die? It doesn't look like it, but that's a lot of sums blown straight away. So yeah, that was just pretty much a consequence of not sitting in the correct positioning. So we'll look here again. Whoops. And you'll... Yeah, so that's just a positioning error. So your Soraka pushed up. Alright, so right here. This is the first mistake, second mistake, sorry. Which is snowballing off the first mistake. So what we've got here is... so you're positioning... Your creep wave is here. And then you're positioning outside the protection. He can't hook you inside the creep wave, so pretty much in this area here, you're safe from any engage attempts onto you, so you can farm, because you're happily going to scale into this game, you're playing a Tristan or a late game ADC. Jinx is a late game ADC, but a Tristan will probably do better in lane than a Jinx, so you can usually win the matchup, so it's pretty good to follow this and not try to do anything different. So inside this safe zone here is what's going to keep you safe. So you got your melee minions protect you up the front, and then you want to do is see where the Jinx is positioning. We look at Jinx. She's positioning below the minions, and if you had, for example, a hooking support that was sitting on this side like this guy is, you can't really, do anything about it. So she's using the minions to protect herself. Which is extremely important. So this is still sidesteppable, but I wouldn't directly rely on sidestepping. Just follow the basics to keep yourself alive. So you get hooked, blah blah blah, you lose a lot of health in all sums. Yep, and you're going to be pressured out for the rest of the game. I know until you back at least. Soraka walks into another hook. They mess up the trap, so you don't capitalize. They don't capitalize, which is good. Alright. So you have a ward in the bush. That's extremely good. You don't want to have Thresh sit in the bush and not be able to... No. I assume this is probably going to be... It's going to hurt. And that's third sum gone. Alright, so you really got to be careful and sit behind your caster wave. Casters are your best defense because they're nice and... They group up nice and well. So they form this like little wall here. So you can sit anywhere. So you got this nice flank like that. So you got this nice like that to protect you, or if they're sitting, they'll be like that. So they'll either be facing forwards or backwards. So in this situation, they're backwards. You could sit on this flank. If he throws the hook, so we see a hook coming up this way, all you do is you just pull yourself to this side, and you'll be safe. And if he moves up, instead of throwing the hook, he moves up this way like he could be. You just follow the same principle because you'll just have the minions blocking you. Even if he tries to flay and pull you in, Jinx would have to throw her traps to do anything meaningful. So that's an unfortunate start to the lane, but it's just unfortunate really. So get going here again. That right there. That wasn't good. So you want to try and use your E. So if we look at Tristana, so we read this. You place a bomb on them. Each attacker ability charges the bomb's damage by 30%. You don't want to throw your bomb just for poke. It's not going to do much. Like this person was full HP when you threw that, and she's lost what, 100 damage. Yeah, about 68 damage. So she was pretty much full HP. And then it explodes, she steps away from Thresh, didn't do any damage. So what you want to try and do is try and throw it at the start of a trade rather than just throwing it out randomly. So right now, if they initiated a trade, it would be bad because it's close to the tower, and which, could end badly for them. But let's say for the sake of examples, they took a trade right now. Your E is on cooldown, and you have no way to drop massive damage, because remember, we look at it, that's 30% extra damage. So that's 30%, and it stacks 4 times. So, 4 stacks, 4 times 30%. I'm pretty sure it's additive, not multiplicative. So it'll be 120% damage, which sounds about right. So that's 200 damage, give or take a few. Probably closer to about 180. Yeah, about 180. So that's a lot more damage than what you're getting there. So you throw it out, you step back, she steps back, nothing happens. And then you've wasted 70 mana. So you're just going to be conservative with your mana, because you only have a 300 pool using 70. That's nearly 1/3 of your pool for 60 damage. So usually you'll be throwing it in more of an all-in trade or a more significant trade. Okay, alright, now they're playing it really, really well. Now let's see if you play it correctly. Awesome. So, what you did there, so you stood behind the minion wave. Remember, you used the minion wave, so you got your defensive formation here and here. That forms a wall like that. Now, you don't want to get too close to the wall, because being next to a wall is extremely bad against a hooking champion. Because, if you remember, if we go, so for example, we'll just jump out of that scenario. Just right here, let's play this. This is your big scary Thresh box. She'll make it pink. This is your Thresh, and this is you, out in the open. What happens is Thresh can throw his hook directly at you, to the left of you, or to the right of you. And you have 3 options as well. You can pull to the left, pull to the right, or just pull directly back. And 1/3 chance on each, yeah, it's probably never going to hit. Especially if you wait to dodge until after he's thrown it and you've seen where it is. I'm going to go. It's going to be hard to hit. If, for example, you have your Thresh... Sorry, not our colors we use. This is your Thresh again, and this is you. But as you can see here, we're against the wall. What happens is you can only go left or right. Your base is off to the right, so every single time, or 99 times out of 100, you're going to run to the base. He throws your hook there, or if he knows you're going to sidestep, he can throw it that way if he knows there's something that's over there you want to get to. But it limits your options, so it becomes a 1 and 3 to a 1 and 2, which naturally Thresh is going to take every single time. He's increasing his odds by 27% for doing nothing. That's just you making the mechanical play for him. So right here, your ward died in the bush, and then Thresh is doing the smart thing and defending the bush. So he has the better position here. And Jinx is doing the right thing and sitting behind the melees and in between the casters, and she's moving up because Thresh is feigning a hook. Right as Soraka goes to cast an ability, which is always the best time. So if they're going for CS or casting abilities, when you want to jump on them because they can't react, and even if they did, they're stuck in the animation. So Thresh's position is the bush there, which is good. He finally moves to his right position. And then what you did before, which was extremely intelligent, was sitting behind the minion wave. So it's going to be hard for you to CS because you're down sums, they're up sums. So you want to try to get as much CS as you can without losing as much health as possible. So you want to position yourself in the position of up here and then down here. So this secondary line is your offensive, that's your farming position. Obviously be careful, because if, for example, Thresh pulls up and around, you got to move your position from here out immediately, because what you've done is put yourself in a position of against the wall straight away again. So instead of running straight out, you want to try and run towards him. It is a worse position to be in, right next to him, so he lands the flay and possibly free hook because you're slowed. But you have a Soraka here defending your flank, so to speak. If there's going to be a hook coming out, it's going to be hitting her, and you're safe. So if she's already going to put herself in that position, use it to your advantage. Alright, moving on. So I assume he's just going to go for another hook where possible. Play, and wave comes up to protect you from the hook. That's good. How are we looking? Yes, 28 to 19. It's alright considering the unfortunate position you started off with. Alright, now you're starting to pull ahead on the trade because of the constant fighting of bot lane that always happens. Mainly because you have the healing advantage. And oh, that was really good. Really, really good. So, unfortunately, Soraka gets hooked. She wasn't playing back far enough. That was good. That was good. Alright, moving on. It was bad that your Soraka lost Flash. Excellent. So, you took the hook, she tried to jump in. There's not really much to say about that. It's a really good gank by Ivan. Now, right here is a very, very bad position. You're playing Tristana. She has wave clear. You have no excuse to be walking away right now. So what's going to happen is this wave is in the middle of the map with a minion advantage for you. It's going to push this way. Push towards their tower, and stop around about here. Here. Oh no. Yeah, here. So that's going to leave you a really, really bad position, because when the minion wave is here, you can get ganked from anywhere. Like, you're going to be pushed up. So we're going to watch this play out. And yeah, what I was saying is, Tristana, she has wave clear, you know? Oh no. That's another thing we'll look at the end. Alright, so, like I said, minion wave's in a poor position because of poor back timing. So it's really hard to, get down the knowledge of where to back, or that was the right time to back. It's just you didn't finish off your job before leaving. So you wanted to push that in if you're going B, or if you had the minion advantage, just leave it and it would land in front of your tower and you'd be in the position. So if you had the minion advantage, you would just leave it there, go back, and you'll come back. You'll maybe lose 1 or 2 minions to the tower, but it'll be in a really good position and they can get ganked, which would be really good for you. So pink ward, that's good. Not sure where the enemy lane is. There they are. Draka taking a pretty poor trade. And there we go. So the ADCs are... So right there, you should be really punishing the Jinx for that poor positioning, and you do, which is really good. So right there, that was pretty much the epitome of the support takes the bush, not the ADC. The ADC walked up because he saw the Rammus coming in, and she promptly got killed for it. So let's see how you deal with this gank. Have heal up. Didn't heal your support. You save yourself? Yes, you are. That was very poor. You could have saved yourself and your support right there. So you gotta have the awareness. You can't just look at yourself. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I need to get out. And then walk it. Alright. So there's 2 mistakes we're gonna cover right here. So you punish the Jinx really well. Jumped in for the kill. You have a jump reset immediately, and then you gotta run away. Alright. So right here is a really, really bad position. Drop that. So we got danger here and danger here. That's a bit big. Danger here. While you're here and Thraka here in danger. So what you're going to be doing is running straight away, and she's going to be running straight away. You have both thumbs. Your Thraka has none. You know this. You've been laning with her. So what you should have done here was jump immediately to get you some distance away from the person with CC down here. Because what this guy's going to do is he's going to run straight at you, then this way. He's going to try and drop the CC on you immediately to cancel your jump or slow you down. Because it looks like Rammus, because he doesn't want you to get to the Soraka and heal her. And he knows Rammus can clean her up, because you're not going to heal her. Or not that he knows that, but if he can stop you from moving up, he can deny the heal, which he thinks you have. So you're going to be moving this way, she's going to move that way. Alright, so we'll see how that plays out exactly as I said. Fresh goes immediately for you, he has Flay. You're right next to your support and you didn't heal her. Big mistake. Next problem is... I heard the flash, but I didn't see it. Weird. Okay, so it was Rammus flashing, okay. I was gonna pick on you for flashing in a straight line, but it seems that didn't happen. So yeah, just one mistake, not two, sorry about that. So yeah, you could have saved your support there, I assume. No, she didn't get mad at you. Maybe she didn't realize either. So, CS numbers, not looking good, but you're up in kills. Pretty good. I'm gonna guess you're about even in gold. Yeah, about even. You're up. So just because you might have got first blood. That would be it. Alright. So pretty even in gold. Blah blah. That's unfortunate. Alright, so big mistake right here. So after the gank, you haven't gone B yet. Yeah, no, you haven't. So you haven't gone B. You're trying to shove in the wave. You didn't use the minions to protect yourself, overstayed, and died. So what I mean by overstaying and dying is they have the minion advantage in front of your tower. You can just leave right now, and your minion wave will be fine. Like, you're gonna lose a few to tower, Jinx might do a good amount of damage to your tower, but you're half health and missing pretty much most of your mana, if I saw that correctly. Half health, half mana. So, if you really did need to push it, which, looking at your gold, you have 700, that's enough for, you know, boots, dagger, control ward, potion. It's fine. That's not a terrible back. You know, right here is just greeting for a few more minions. It's in a perfect position right now. You even saw the thresh in the bush. So right here, if you're gonna stay anyway, and you're gonna green for the minions, don't stand where he can just throw the hook at you. You have a protective wave moving in like that. So if your wave is gonna be there, stick with the wave. You should be not standing here and rather here backwards. Yeah? So he has the free hook on you in vision. You know, he's clearing a control ward. When you see that, that should be danger signs in your head. There's a support playing really far up by himself. He's not going to be alone. People aren't stupid all the time. So he throws the hook of opportunity, we see, and the opportune hook leads to a death, and missing a lot of CS. That was quite unfortunate your support to play that fire aggro. Alright, so the mid laner came down and ganked for you while you weren't there. Pretty good. Gets a kill. Alright, now we're back to lane. Ooh, a fight. Interesting. I didn't think I would get to watch any of these in such a short game. See how it plays out first. Get a free Rammus kill because that poor positioning. They get out. Their mid laner looks like it's gonna get out. And you start up dragon. Soraka dies. Ivan dies. Jinx gets dragon. Thresh dies. Alright, so maybe I won't. There's nothing really to cover. Little orange dot. Nothing really to cover, really, for you. I don't think there's anything major. Yeah, no. Probably should have followed. If your jungler and support are gonna chase the kills, you probably, even though it's a bad idea, either ping them back or follow them. Just while you're sitting here farming, I'll just talk about this. Sometimes you gotta weigh up plays. So sometimes there's good plays, sometimes there's bad plays. I'll just pause this. So sometimes it's good plays, sometimes it's bad plays. But what you don't realize is when you learnt that this specific play is a bad play, what you might not realize is that it's only a bad play because of the poor chance of working. Why is it a poor chance of working? Well, maybe there's no chance that you can get the kill with only so many players going there. Or maybe it's a 1 in a million hook that they're going for. Sorry. So you want to try and... It's hard to explain. Sometimes it's better to go for the worst play as long as your team is fully committed to doing it. Say you have 3 people alive and you want to do Baron, but you don't want to do Baron because you know for some reason that, oh, their jungler's always smited all the objectives and it's clearly better than your jungler, and you don't want to risk it. Don't just leave them to not do it and have them get double killed by your jungler because they're trying to duo Baron, by their jungler, and then they pick up Baron or whatever. That's a far worse play than you just going there and risking it. Because what would happen, so when you left, you created a far worse scenario. Even though you know you're avoiding a bad play, what you don't realize is that your choice led to a worse play. It's a bit hard to wrap your head around, I guess, but it's pretty much, if your team is saying do it, do it, even if it's the worst play. And then if you know it's a bad play, try and tell them not to, but still go with them. So what that means is you have their mid inhib, your team's grouping up, ping them back, but don't just ping them back, sit there with them, say, let's go top or bot, let's go Baron. Don't just sit there and, run down the mid with them. Still voice your concerns about it, but don't abandon them, because what they're going to do is go in 4v5, lose the fight, and throw your lead. So follow them, but don't tell them it's bad and that they don't want to, you don't want to do that, but still follow them. Because if they get caught out, you're still going to win the fight. You're ahead, or you should win the fight. So it's better to lose, pretty much win together, lose together. Sometimes there's a better play to be had, but the better play is only a better play if you do it together. Alright, so that was a big divergence. So we'll just jump back into this play. So, what we have here, Jarvan top, no Riven to be seen. So top lane is not part of this fight, safe to assume. No TPs are up, so it's just going to be a 4v4. Their jungler finds your jungler with the mid in tow, and their bot lane isn't there, so we can assume safely that their bot lane is somewhere here. And if they're going to be committing to a fight like this, you can probably assume they're sitting right on the edge here. Just out of vision. So your jungler gets caught. You need to be paying attention to the map, and you need to be running there straight away. So you're not farming that well anyway. You might as well just go for the fight. So this is pretty much the same thing that I was talking about just before. If you're gonna do something, do it together. You should see on the map that your jungler is getting caught out and run over it straight away immediately. The Soraka notices straight away and runs over. I suspect she might have been running over already, but that's not important. Okay. Interesting. So what they've done is they were in the dragon pit? They blasting coned over, didn't they? Yep. Alright, so your Soraka gets caught out and dies. Mid and jungle get caught out. Blasting cone. Alright. You gonna make it out? Just barely. That's 3 champions there, you wanna be careful. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Get him, Daisy. And I assume that's just gonna be a dead Ivan. I get out. Alright, so pretty much bad fight altogether. You might have been able to do something better there. Only thing that I can really nitpick you on is probably the trying to get away from the 3 people. You should have just jumped and bolted. You try to walk back towards your tower and you walked into the Victor stun. Pretty much when the Victor drops your stun on you, you want to try and find the quickest route out of the stun. Because even if you want to go, you walk in the other direction, it's probably easier for you to walk into him and fight him than try to walk through the stun and just get blown up while stunned. If that makes sense. Alright, so we've returned back to the bot tower. Now what really should be happening here is trying to look for roaming mid or top. But your top is losing pretty hard, so that would be pretty dangerous. That's a 2-0 Riven. 2-0, yeah, 2-0 Riven with Dustblade. Which could be pretty dangerous going up there. Mid's doing pretty well and farmed. Yeah. So this is looking pretty bleak right now. So pretty much all your opportunities are to just shove waves, sit under tower, hope you can outscale them. Which you do have a slightly better team comp for a late game ADC. So you have a Soraka, you have an Ivan, you have a Jarvan, you have a Talia. Sorry, I haven't talked this much. Constantly been talking for 30 minutes now. Alright, so having us mad at you comes over and takes his grump. So what you want to be doing in this situation is just probably shoving out your wave, walk mid, shove out the wave, walk top, shove out the wave, walk back bot, shove out the wave. Just pretty much farming, sitting at towers. Since there's not really much you can do. Gonna get out. Alright, so it looks like you got caught in the jungle and a few of your teammates did as well. But you made it out alright. Talia doesn't get hit by the hook. Probably gonna get one shot by this really fed. Yeah. Feel that one coming. Ramus DCs. Get him. Nice. I mean, not nice, but you know. Gotta win. And they go for the mid tower.
There's danger afoot.
So it looks like nothing really big is happening. You're just getting sieged down in multiple lanes, and objectives are going over to them. Typically what happens in a game this far behind. So you're down 10,000 gold. That's 17 minutes. It's not looking good. Yeah. That's pretty much just sieging down. I imagine once this inhib goes, you're gonna surrender. Yeah. Blue pings on Rift Herald. There it goes. They're in the jungle. The teammates are getting caught out again. Fortunate. Sieging down top lane now with Rift. Alrighty, so right here, not good. Yeah? So what you're doing down here is you're barely even pushing out the wave, you know? This shouldn't take you this long to push this far. You're on Tristana, it takes a few seconds to hit the wave. And then you should be up here defending your tower. You know, you're losing an inhib. And you're sitting down bot farming. So you just really need to pay attention to the map, because Riven cancelled that TP and they're going for another inhib. Even if you think it's a lost game, you should still give it your all. You know, just sitting bot and farming isn't doing you anything really. So all you're doing down here is just seeding 2 inhibs for 1 outer tower. There's not much really I can say about this. It's just go to your damn base, Tim. Gonna lose a Nexus tower at 20 minutes. We're gonna see one final fight, by the looks of it. Oh no, Tim. Oh no. Let's see what goes wrong in this fight. Did you see it? I'm not sure if you noticed. Let's have a look. I don't think I would have to say this one. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe. This is you being an 80 carry. You're 5 and 2. You're insanely strong. Let's go in. This is not the way to go about it. You have a Jarvan to engage for you. You have an Ivan to peel for you. Sit back. Let your auto attacks just rain death on the enemies. Not jumping into melee range. And then let's see how long you last. Gone. Half a second maybe? There's not much really to say about that one. So yeah. An interesting last little death. Alright, so that concludes the first game. 40. This one's getting 40 minutes long now. Might have to retry it. But not much really to say about that one. The enemy team was just better all around. You lost a significant portion of your gold advantage. So you're 3k gold down. Just from missing out on farm, which is just a really easy thing to do. You know, you sit in a custom game and just aim for 10 CS a minute. Don't get it? Restart it. Don't get it? Restart it. Don't get it? Restart it. Just over and over again. There's no point playing games at this level of CSing. So, it's harsh to say, but, you know, it's just wasting everyone's time. You're the 80 carry. You need farm. You know, when melees are getting 177 in a 21-minute game, you shouldn't be sitting there at 104 on a range champ with wave clear. So what you need to be doing is going into a custom game, farming for the first 10 minutes, see how much CS you get, write it down, restart the game, go again. Keep going. Make sure that number's going up. If not, look at what you're doing wrong. It's just click it when it's dead. Or nearly dead, sorry. So yeah, CSing didn't help your cause. 3,000 gold down on your lane opponent. It's kind of bad, especially when you're only 3 kills difference. That's only 900 gold. Obviously they had 9 towers, so that's a few thousand. Probably like 1,500 global gold or so. It's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, positioning in the lane phase, like I said at the start, needs work. Dodging skills need work. And just your map awareness, you know? A few of the fights that did actually happen, you were farming bot, you were late to the fight, you were never part of the fight. Just map awareness, you know? Every other second you should be looking at the map. 50% of your game or more should be looking at the map. That's where all your information comes from. I don't know if you have your HUD, you know, really far down or something, but the most important part of your screen is right there, you know? And then the next important is your tab menu, which you should spend another 25% of the game having that open. You know, some people sitting there spamming tab, or you know, the F keys to look at their teammates, you know. So yeah, it's pretty much just like microplay across the map. Sorry, macroplay across the map, and just a little bit of your microplay that you need to work on, and then positioning. And that, I don't know if you had just given up and just run it in, but I don't know about that one. Jumping into a really strong Riven. But yeah, you played it pretty well. You did secure 5 kills.
I don't think any of them really. Just 3 stolen kills. Alright, so that wraps up the first one. I'll try to look at a few more of your games, but it was good. Just a few things to work on.